Why you dead? And we're back with the Dark Souls playthrough. We just got back from the returning to the Undead Asylum, where we picked up the rusted iron ring, which is going to allow us to go down into Blighttown swamp area without a movement penalty. I'm also equipping the spider shield, which we picked up in the depths, which has good poison resist on it, so we'll be able to block the poison dart fuckers and not get toxic right away.
Oh, hello. Well, you said Have you heard of Big Hat Logan? Master Logan is a great sorcerer and my teacher. Both of us came to this land as undead, but one day he departed, leaving only a note. I suppose he wished to keep me out of harm's way. But where does that leave me? I have dedicated myself to sorcery, but Master Logan could find no use for me.
Over time, I'm going to keep on buying the spells from this guy until I get all of them. Like I said before, we need to buy all of his spells. We're going to have to buy all of Master Logan's spells once we find him as well, to ensure that the events unlock for us to gain the best spells in the game.
That'll do.
So after this, we're going to head down into the depths.
On your journey. May we meet again.
Correction. We're going to head down into Blighttown via the back door, via the New Londo ruins. Now recall that this is where we went when I very first started the game, doing my early game preparations to get the Crimson Armor. And I did that to get a little head start, as you recall. Remember, we're going to have to run by the fat-ass guys, and there's going to be the guys who shoot the fuckers that shoot the darts at us that put a toxic debuff on you. And the flying little bugs that spit the poison at you. I mean, this zone is just a huge pain in the ass, and I'm glad that we're going through the back door instead of taking the way through the front. The front door is basically descending a cliff with little buildings on it and all kinds of trolls and fat dudes and dart shooters. It's a pain in the ass. This way's much nicer. The main thing that we're going to pick up when we're down here, though, is the Falcon, which is the sword that I'm going to end up using throughout the remainder of the entire game. I'm going to start putting enchants on it right away. I like the moveset. It's fast, it does good damage, and when it's enchanted, it really does great damage. Now that I've got better spells, it's entirely possible that I'm going to be able to take these fat fuckers out now. The only thing they drop is dung pies, which is kind of funny. Now, you've seen that I've had the spell Remedy, which I picked up early in the game, and I haven't really used it yet. but it's really useful here when I get poisoned or toxic. I can actually cast that spell and it will remove it, which the only other way to do that is either wait it out or to have a series of items that you get from either the guys who shoot the darts or from some trees in the Darkroot Basin, but I haven't even been there yet, and I haven't killed any of the dark guys, so it's pretty convenient that I had this spell. Now, this guy I'm actually going to be able to take out now that I'm significantly stronger than I was early in the game, so that they don't present much of a challenge. Also, I have a bunch of soul arrows now, which is going to be useful for taking out the flying bugs, because they kind of bob and weave through the air, making it hard to hit with your melee weapon, depending on which weapon you have, because certain swings are better at taking them out. But soul arrows is pretty much an automatic hit on these guys, which is nice. Something I kind of picked up with video games is in area. You see how there's torches everywhere? Those pretty much signify where you need to go. If you're ever lost, just look for torches or look for light sources. In this case, the torches always signify where the ladders are going to be. So if you're ever lost, can't figure out where you need to go to the torch. That's how you get up and down. Now this is the bottom of the swamp, and this is where the areas. This is where you need the ring because it's slow to walk through this turf if you don't have it. And when you're walking through the swampy area, a poison meter is going to start filling up. Now I have enough poison resist with my current gear that I'm not too concerned with getting poisoned because it ticks my health down really slowly. So there you can see the poison building up. And eventually I'm going to start farming some items down here and looking for some gear. And I'm just not going to care about poison at all. I'm just going to run around poison the entire time. Here's the location of the bonfire. And what we're going to do is like usual when I get to all bonfires, I use a humanity to bring myself back to life if I'm not already alive and kindle the bonfire. And then what's unique about Blighttown is when you're alive and you walk out, a phantom invader, which is an NPC, is going to invade you and come attack you. And if you kill her, you get her weapon and a bunch of souls and humanity. And there are 3 or 4 different invaders throughout the game. None of them are really challenging by any means, though. And they all give fun items. The machete she gives is the same weapon that the butchers used up in the depths earlier, so that's kind of neat. There's no real strategy to fighting her. She pretty much runs at you. She has no armor, just the machete. So you just kind of back off, shoot soul arrows at her, no problem. There you go, Maneater Mildred. If you're melee, you can block her hits. When she goes for her power swing where she raises it above her head, just roll out of the way or behind her, get a backstab in. She's really easy. Also up behind me, all the way at the end of this tunnel, is a dragon scale, which is used to upgrade dragon weapons like the Drake sword in the beginning that I did not get, or various other dragon weapons, so it's useful to pick up. And now I see that those poison bugs are coming, and I don't want to fuck with them while I'm fighting her, so I just run back in here. I'm actually going to be able to pummel her while she's coming down this ladder, which is pretty funny. Free hits. Easy fight. 8,000 souls, which is really good for this early in the game. And I'll pick up her items and I'll get several humanities. 3 humanities and the butcher knife. And then here's the dragon skillet I was talking about. I'm not going to use any of that, but I got them regardless. Now I'm going to go rest at the bonfire and start walking around the Blighttown to pick up some items. There's lots of large titanites. There's some slugs that we can kill that give 5 green titanites each sometimes. And that's used for, green titanites are used for, I'm pretty sure I need them. It's for either fire enchants, and I believe that they're used for divine enchants. Yes. And everybody needs some form of a divine enchant at some point, which makes your weapons scale off of faith, but it also lets you kill certain undead that can't be harmed otherwise. So it's good that while you're down here to farm about 10 green titanites, and I'll show you where those are at in a second. First thing though, we're going to go after the Falcon, which normally you would find on your way down from the main way, but since we came down the back door, we're going to have to backtrack a bit. I'm going to have to kill some monsters and start climbing up the scaffolding to get to it. So you can see I'm poisoned here, and the poison meter is slowly draining down. That's right in the middle of the screen. But the poison's actually not doing much damage to me. It's all these enemies that I just kind of ran into. So we're going to kite them around a bit and see if I can't pick some of them off with soul arrows. But we can see poison is not a threat to me by any means. See how my melee weapon missed that thing. These things are kind of hard to hit with stabbing weapons, so that's why it's good to have the great soul arrows. Now, when I was talking about not taking much damage from poison earlier, it's because my gear right now has some decent poison resist on it. If you're normally coming through the front way and you don't have poison resist gear, there's actually several sets available in this zone that you'll find. On your way down to Blighttown, there's a set that looks like a ninja. That's just cloth armor, but it's still worth wearing for every class if you don't have any poison resist, because poison can really mess you up if you don't. Now I just got toxic because a dark guy from up above just fell down, so that's going to make things a little bit different, or a little difficult for me. Luckily I had this remedy spell which will remove it all. New players can easily get overwhelmed down here because of the status effect of the poison, as well as the swarm of enemies all over the place, but if you stay calm, take one enemy at a time and keep backing up so you won't get overwhelmed. Now the Falcon is just right up here. It's only up, I believe, one set of ladders here. There's a dart blowing guy up here, but I don't know if I'm going to fight him or not. He may have fallen off. And some bugs that I'm going to have to take care of. There's also a set of poison resist gear. I think it's called the Wanderer set, maybe? It looks like, I think it's the gear that actually the Pyromancers start with. Again, just stay calm. I'm toxic, but I'm not freaking out. My life is draining rapidly. I'm able to cure myself and then heal myself and then move on. The second you start to freak out is when you're going to die in Blighttown. There was the Falcon that I wanted. I just so happened to run into one of the dark guys. He's normally standing right up there by the Falcon, but for whatever reason he fell down and was coming at me. I'm going to go back up and kill him. I think that when you kill the dark guys, they don't respawn, which is really good. And again, they're the ones that also drop the items that cure poison and toxic. So now that I've cleared this area out, I've got a good amount of souls, so I could return to the bonfire to level up. But I've also still got 5 Estus flasks and a lot of spells left, so I'm just going to keep running around the swamp area and picking up various items and killing any monsters that I come across, because I'm going to want those Titanites for upgrades later. Here's the slugs that drop the large Titanites and the green Titanites. You know, by themselves from range, they're not that bad, but if they get into melee range and actually hit you, they can actually deal some pretty good damage. So you kind of want to stay back from them. Here I'm also thinking about putting on, or I'm checking the stats of the gear that I picked up to see which gear has the best poison resist. And I'm pretty sure I'm just going to end up saying, ah, screw it, I've got good poison resist already. The swamp can seem kind of large at first, but it's not really. As long as you run around the perimeter, there's not very. It's kind of a narrow zone. There's not really much in the middle. So running around the perimeter is going to allow you to at least see all of the items and enemies that you're going to want to kill, and get you everything that you need. There's also a zone called Ash Lake and the Great Hollow that are accessible from here, and they're both optional zones. But we're definitely going to hit them while we're down here. Not Ash Lake. We're going to go into the Great Hollow. And only in the beginning, because there's a good ring there that gives you 20%, I think, increased stamina regeneration, which is just huge, especially for melee characters, but it's good on everybody. So we're absolutely going to pick that ring up. As a mage, it's situational, but we need it anyway. As long as you pick these things off one at a time, like most encounters in the game, they're not all that bad. It's only when you run into a whole bunch of them blindly that they can really start to mess you up. There you go, 5 green Titanite shards. That's really, really valuable. I mean, 5 at a time is huge, so if you want green Titanite shards, this is definitely the place to farm them. The item up ahead here is called Server. It's a great sword that I believe heals you when you deal damage. I've actually never used it, and I've never seen anyone use it, but it sounded like a cool item to me. I don't know why I never have tried it. Now there's only a few of these slugs left. There's 3 here and then 2 around the corner. And this is actually the entrance to the Great Hollow as well. There's going to be a treasure box up top. It's behind a hidden wall actually. So you hit the hidden wall, get the treasure box, and then there's another hidden wall behind that. If you attack it, it'll reveal the passage to the Great Hollow. So where we're at right now, we're right next to the area where I just got the Falcon. So this is where you would normally be entering Blighttown, or the bottom of Blighttown if you came through the front door. And it's just to the left of that. There's a hidden wall. We find a twin humanities here, I believe, with another hidden wall right behind it. Sneaky, sneaky. I don't know why I always get 400 souls right there. Some enemy has just killed itself, though I don't know how or why. Anyway, we're in the Great Hollow now, and I'm gonna keep leveling up or spend my souls and get some intelligence here. Now the only item that I'm really after here, because this is a really big winding tree fucking maze, and there's a lot of those little guys that curse you on the way down, and then there's big mushroom guys that hit really hard even further down. I just was not in the mood to tackle it, but if you look down right where I'm at right here, and you make that jump, you fall inside this hollow tree, and there's the ring. The Chloranthy ring. And that's the only way to get it, is to fall to it from above. And that's the only thing that I wanted to get in here. So from that, we'll start to make our way out. Now, unfortunately, the next thing I would have done was I would have gone back to the bonfire at the bottom of Blighttown and gone after the next boss, which is Quelaag, and summoned Maneater Mildred to help us, because if you fight Maneater Mildred, that Phantom Invader, then she becomes available for you to summon for the boss fight, which makes it a lot easier because she just suicide runs in there. But unfortunately, my video capture device messed up, and I was unable to capture the Quelaag fight, as well as finding a secret room down there and ringing the second bell of awakening, which is unfortunate. So when this video picks back up, it'll be me leaving Blighttown and going after some optional bosses to get some powerful gear before I head to Sen's Fortress. So stay tuned, I'll see you then.